Test, 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 test. All right. Test, 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 test. All right. Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic start to your AM. Happy Thursday. Been a pretty strong and pretty successful trading week here so far. Hopefully, we can get some decent action out here today, but we're kind of just stuck in the middle with you here, right? Price not really separating too far above those highs, not really separating too far below those lows. And we're effectively just in the middle of now, what, like a September onward range, I guess, technically, right? So price is pretty indecisive. Doesn't really know what it wants to do. Kind of wants to figure out maybe a directional path. I think that definitely makes a little bit of sense. Markets generally prefer environments of clarity, right? So when things are consistent, when everything is pointing to the downside and no liquidity or X Y Z, I think that's when you get those big bearish sell-offs, right? And then when everything's hunky-dory and things are looking positive, right? And every bad headline gets absorbed, the market continues going higher, right? That's a good indication of a bullish market. What we have right now effectively is like a random reaction to each individual headline. And the timing and yeah, randomness of those headlines creates a lot of uncertainty and definitely challenging behaviors, but gives us good volatility, which I think we've been managing reasonably well here again this week. And it gives us opportunities where we can just focus on really improving our technique, right? So, as the market quote unquote gets more difficult, or as it gets choppier, or as things go crazier, or as it gets more volatile, or as whatever happens, the more that we try to like force our ideas or our ego or yeah, like what we believe the market is going to do, and we think that we're smarter than the market and we behave as if we're smarter than the market, then the more the market reminds us that's just not true. And these I think are the types of conditions where the emphasis there really should become on, okay, like what am I doing in my technique that I can improve, change, fix, make better, right? What are the unnecessary elements in my trading that I've introduced, right, that don't need to be there? What are the things that I'm doing that I like make my life more difficult, basically? And then finally, right, like what are the things that I can do that can make my life easier? And if I just focus on, okay, I've got this pattern when this happens, and I change my behavior around how I react there, then all of a sudden, right? Like it's so much easier. Trading isn't necessarily a game to optimize for dollars and cents, right? It's about optimizing for control. And when markets get more volatile or bouncier or crazier, and we start to put all of our mental capital, our energy, our focus in our trading strategy to be about how can I exert the most control over my future decisions, the better things go. And unfortunately, right, that looks differently for everyone. So you'll have to find what that looks like for you, right? Or for ourselves. It's a unique and kind of honest conversation you probably need to have just with yourself. But yeah, like that's the thing that makes this thing so difficult. And the more that we pass off, excuse me, the more that we pass off that accountability over like how and when and why we make those decisions, and we expect every blank to be filled in by something or someone else, generally the worse things go, right? Because instead of taking accountability for our problems or for our solutions and realizing that, hey, you have the skills to fix it, we wait for someone else to do that. And then we complicate things and we make things harder than they need to be. So very, very deliberate here, right? Focus on the quality of your execute. Focus on the variables you can control. Don't like if your objective, guys, is to be me as a trader, you're doing it wrong, right? Your objective should be the to be you, right? Not to be me. I think differently than you. I am different than you. I trade differently than you to a certain extent, in the same way that everyone is different than the person directly to the next, right? Like next to them. So everyone here is unique. So the only way that you're going to make money long term is if you embrace the characteristics that make you unique, embrace the characteristics that honestly destroy your ability to compound your trading, and then stop overcomplicating everything else in the middle. And we've got people who are like adding stop loss techniques that they've never seen or heard here, and then wondering why they're getting stopped out for small wins. Got other people, right, who can't seem to decide on how to exit their positions with a reasonable amount of confidence, so they panic with each bit of P&L. And those things happen because we look for holy grails or like can't lose opportunities instead of being accountable, being deliberate, and making a decision before we're even like encountered with the thought of it being a loss. So, realistically, right, I can only do so much here. I can show you guys my psychology, what I'm thinking through during a trade, why I'm going to be entering a position, how I'm managing my risk, all these sort of things. But like I can't control the voice in your head. And yeah, I think a lot of you look for solutions or look for answers that are like distractions instead of just learning how to like behave the way that you say you're going to behave, right? You look for oh, I gotta look for a new entry technique because if I do this, this will happen. Instead of saying like, Oh, I chased my entries for the last 60 trades. It's easy sometimes to convince ourselves that a new whatever is going to be what fixes our psychology or fixes our mindset, but most of the time that's not the case. Anyway, enough ranting and raving. Let's get after it here this morning. So, nothing too crazy. I don't see any market data here this morning that we have to deal with. Okay, yeah, screen candle, decreasing volume gap down, so 1 for 3. Target here, 6,900. And then downside, we're already pretty close to low. So we're looking at probably 68. Fine. Okay. NQ, green candle, decreasing volume gap down. 1 for 3. Target here, 25,250. Let's call it 200. Then we'll fill that out towards like 26. All right, and then to the downside, we're looking at market lows 962. Maybe call it 24.8. Looks reasonably filled out from there. How's the microphone sound this morning? Any issues? Not too loud. You can't hear me doing anything crazy. All right, sweet. Okay, CL, and it's still special operation, special occasion, Freudian slip. Well, inside bar breakout, looking at a 78 pop. I mean, that's kind of interesting. I would only have a bull case here. It would be basically 78.50 breakout. Eh, really, your breakouts above 78 and then targeting like 80. Apple looks like a lower low to me. So 1 for 3 to the upside, consistent. Oh, never mind. Whoops. Red candle increasing volume gap down. Futures brain there for a second. Um, Tesla green increasing gap down. So 2 out of 3 upside with volume. Microsoft green decreasing gap down. So 1 for Amazon, 2 out of 3 the upside with volume if it ever wants to load. AMD, 2 out of 3 to the upside with vol. NVIDIA, 73. Ooh, just decreasing. So, wow, mean. I'll call that a 1 for 3 here all of a sudden. So, green decreasing, gap down, so 1 for 3. Netflix, 2 out of 3 to the upside without volume. Google, green decreasing, gap down, and 1 for 3. VIX 22.63. So yeah, we still got quite a lot of volatility on the table here. Just a question of which way does it want to settle. And honestly, I'm kind of expecting chop until proven otherwise. Yeah, I have a temporary solution here that I'm using today, but by the weekend we'll have a proper solution. Yeah, I mean, that's our first little breakout. We don't have any market data here today. We got Nat Gas at 10:30, but I don't really care about that. Call me old fashioned. They're obviously not going to get increasing volume there on that second candle, or at least it's very rare for us to get increasing volume there on that second candle generally. Smallest range we've seen in a while, too, right? 74 points. Pretty low, pretty small. Okay, nice little breakout though. Holding 25,000 pretty well. Now we need to see some sort of increasing volume, right, to act as our confirmation. So at the moment, we only have an active setup trigger, right, which is a breakout away from the opening range. The only confirmation we would have, right, would be ego based of like, oh, this feels like it's going to go to the upside, right? This feels like it's going to go in this direction. Don't use an emotional reaction to price action as a confirmation signal. So instead, right, we're requiring a volume candle to generally accompany any breakout, right? If a breakout is strong, there's more buyers than sellers effectively, right? Or if a breakdown is strong, there's more sellers than buyers. And we don't have that type of price action here yet. Maybe we're on pace to do it here with this next candle, but that lack of enthusiasm indicates to me, right, that it's maybe not an easy trade or wouldn't be an easy trade. And as we like, right, we want to catch the easiest move of the day. I would say more so than the first move of the day. And until this gives me an increasing volume standard, it's going to be really hard to trust that this is an easy move. Might be close. It is a little bit less, right? For sure, objectively. So we try again. Yeah, a little inside bar for now. Probably not on pace to be increasing, right? Unless something dramatic happens second half of that candle. For now, we're still primarily focusing on only the 2 minute because everything else just hasn't had enough opportunities to cycle through, right? So, like the 3 min for now, it's working on candle number three. 5 min's working on candle number two. So, 2 min's the only one that reasonably has an opportunity to give me a confirmation. Once we maybe clear like 6:45 or 9:45, start to open up a bit more time frames or a few more other opportunities. Even if I was able to find an entry on the 1 min, this would have been pretty stressful. This lower low, I think, would be very tough to deal with. And decreasing volumes, I'm on hand still. Okay, 30 seconds here for a downside confirmation opportunity. Feels a little bit like deja vu to yesterday, right? Kind of a similar thing, maybe a little bit more separation above or away. Not much. But it's going to need a stronger close than this, though. That's not a strong enough close. That's pretty indecisive. I appreciate that. This is maybe where the three min. I can't even say that with any confidence. But yeah, that was about as bad of a close as we could have gotten on that previous candle. Now, basically need a break, close, and hold under there. A little bit, yeah. This has a chance to go increasing volume as well, but it's also maybe a little bit more bottom heavy than the candle above it or to the left of it. Still showing us some of that nonsense. Like, this one looks like less of a tug of war, right, than the previous bar. Yeah, not great. Kind of gross. But we're still waiting. I'm tired. Yeah, it's kind of hard waves to try to ride today. Not exactly a nice, not exactly a nice open so far. I got more wicks than bodies. So primary reason why I like the 2 min time frame, gives me a lot of like opportunities to recycle and reset, right? So I think that's a big one. But with the 2 min in general, candles are a little bit smaller. So if I'm looking for like a 10-point stop loss, right, or an entry of about 10 points, the probability of me getting that on the 2 min is much greater than it is for me on the 30 min, for example. So it just gives me a little bit more of like I can be focused and have a reasonable expectation that what I'm looking for can happen. Whereas on some of the other time frames, not as easily type thing. Primarily, I'm not really optimizing for win rate. Like, if I was optimizing to get the best possible win rate from this strategy, I'd probably trade this on, like, yeah, like, I don't know, a 10, 15, or a 30 min time frame. But I would get like two, maybe three setups a week, something like that. Instead, I'd rather focus on, yeah, optimizing for basically the smallest losses possible if something comes together, and then basically thinking, "Hey, I'm a freaking idiot, but if I am wrong a bunch and then catch the move early, I'll probably still make a lot of money." And as long as I can basically justify flipping that coin and I can keep my risk small to basically manage my psychology, then I can rinse and repeat and basically play that game nonstop. No, bad candle, right, for confirmation. Like if I'm looking at this candle, right, if I'm looking at it, I draw an arrow, looks like an arrow pointing up, right? Not an arrow pointing down. I want arrows pointing down effectively with wicks if I'm going to be bullish or bearish. I don't want to be fighting against the trend effectively or fighting where I see buyers showing me that shelf. Okay, we got something here on the 2 min, increasing outlier volume. Break, close, and hold under the previous candle low. That's interesting. Target here would still be lows. Got a little inside bar still on the pullback. So for now, we're looking for a fake out above 77 first, right? Not an entry yet, just looking for that fake out first. Okay, there it maybe is. So that would put your stop loss for now at 83. Oh, higher. 30 seconds to go. This looks like it's going to be increasing volume. Say nope. Oh, setup is dead for me. Yeah, Kiki spot on. Yeah. There, so we have an increasing volume profile here to the upside. Call this a breakout from the opening range. So reasonable setup trigger here. Okay, we need to see that fake out lower first, right? That puts us at 97 as a stop loss. Reference price here would be like that ish. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Be focused here. Sorry, that was quite distracting. It closes, we'll just reset, no biggie. Okay. Again, another increasing volume rejection. No entry there, guys, right? It's funny, right? So those trades that make you feel like you missed it are the ones that you chase. Look at what happens, right? Like I felt like I was gonna, like I wanted to chase that trade, or like I missed my entry and that I didn't have a chance, right? Like I exclaimed, like I knew it, I knew it, I knew it, right? And look at how your gut or your brain lies to you, right? You don't know it. So it's like the less we believe our thoughts in the middle of a trading day, generally the better, right? Or I guess maybe the sooner that we understand that not all of our thoughts in a trading day are true, that they're factual or that they're correct, that also I think is better, right? We want to go from thinking to trading. I think the only way you do that is if you basically stop putting any weight or like value or uh yeah, to your emotional reactions. Like the more that you can basically shut them off like a psychopath when you're trading, generally the better things are going to go. Sounds absurd, but the reality. And so there's our possible fake out again. I don't like the size of this move necessarily, so I'm going to wait. Kind of looks a little incy bincy bit contradictory across time frames. Like I still think feel more choppiness than I do fiction. Didn't close as a fake out, so again, good decision. Freeman, like it hasn't held once above the initial morning high. I find to be a little bit peculiar. Like if I'm saying bulls were strong, what would strong bulls look like? Strong bulls would hold the initial morning high. I don't think that that's too crazy of a leap. This is going to be our, yeah, maybe like third attempt at it. Not a ton of volume on that candle, not particularly impressive. Nice little pattern breakout here, like to the upside if you're raging bull. It's kind of like this, right? It's kind of like your channel that you're breaking out from. Maybe even call it that if you want. For me, that would probably still indicate a bearish crack. I don't know. We'll see. This has a chance to go increasing volume on the breakout, which could signal. So don't feel like we've missed anything today. Not particularly. And bit of a failure there. Does it have enough juice to go outlier? We call not if it closes green. Disappointing. No man's land candle. Fair. Yeah, nice and slow here so far. Unfortunately, fortunately, I don't know. Nice, Braden. I appreciate that. Yeah. I think so much of trading is like, how can I just avoid my obvious mistakes? Like all of us make a different obvious mistake, but I just avoid those most of the time, and I just don't do the dumb stuff that costs me like the huge blow up days. Obviously, easier said than done, but do that and you're like 80% of the way there. And still, again, decreasing volume, no choice but to sit out. Yeah, been really ugly price action so far. Ugly, ugly open, but a good move, right? Uh, Kind of an annoying divergence. Yeah, opening range like a little bit closer to normal there yesterday or today, sorry. Yesterday, still like a little bit outrageous. Like an 86 point range or like 75 point range. I ain't worried about that. That's enough size. And 40 seconds to get to outlier. We'll see. Again, right? We also want to contextualize here, right? What this price action is. So long-term trend, you're very much in the middle of like 6 months worth of price action. Like almost bang on the middle, right? So it's not exactly an area where you'd expect a tremendous amount of enthusiasm. You'd kind of expect the froth, right? Because neither side is like super green and neither side is super red. Yeah, 3 min, we got a decent close there. 2 min just under, 5 min just under. So 3 min's the only one. Need to see a little fake out first, right? That hasn't particularly occurred yet. It's just been a straight line up since open. So need to see a little bearish failure in some context. This might end up being an easier setup here on the two, where we just end up playing an increasing outlier volume breakout on a break, close, and hold above 25,200. We'll have more space to the upside and maybe a little bit of a more reasonable path to getting that initial fake out. So we'll keep an eye on both of these scenarios here, but that gives us like a secondary play or a secondary path to playing this. I don't know. This kind of feels like it's a rejection now, right? Contextually getting stuck under 200, failed move up and over. I'd be a little bit careful here. Already increasing volume, so if this turns, it could turn pretty nasty, pretty aggressive on the two. I don't think I can play this as a bullish breakout at the moment. I think that this is a mean reversion setup, literally hitting its 2R range. So I'm looking to the downside now here, team. 100%. Okay, for now, 193 stop loss. Okay, gonna be a little bit higher, 196. So no reference price, so be patient. Okay, so looking at something like that. Fast still, just give it a sec. Push that reference price now. Oh, how did I not get a fill there? Tried to get filled 192. Canceled that. I'll potentially try this again if it pulls back in, but I might not get it now. Oh, painfully unlucky. Hopefully a few of you guys caught that entry there. If you did, you're in pretty good shape here with this close. I might get the same repeat here, or maybe. Yeah, maybe. Okay, maybe not. So now you're looking at 189 stop loss. Watch a sec here. Cool. Okay, good rejection. So let's see, we get gentle pullback into like 179, 180. All right, there it is. So I'm in, guys. Average price is 182.25. I mean, I think I talked to you guys through that one about as well as I can. Let's see if this thing can immediately crack down here. Hey, amazing follow through here so far. So far, so good, right? So far, so good. Would like to see this hold under 170, hopefully under 160. Don't like that too much. On strong close here, 20 seconds. 10 seconds. There it goes. Fantastic. So strong close. Amazing. Let's see if this thing can give us one more decent flush here through the 150s. Go enjoy lives. Enjoy our lives. And don't like that pullback. Don't do it. I don't really want to see it hit 170 ever again, truth be told. In this setup, if it does, I'm going to get out. That's literally all I'm watching. I'm not even watching my P&L. I'm just watching price, just the number. See, this I don't like. I don't like these pullbacks. It makes a little move and then wants to come back just a little bit too fast. Yeah, there it is. So I'm going to look to get out here now as P&L is increasing, guys. Look to get out as P&L is increasing. On. This is going to be the opportunity here. Come on. There it is. Okay, guys, I am out. Exit price. 5 seconds too early. 5 seconds too early. Painful, but really happy with how I managed that position. Oh, fuck me. uh, 10 seconds too early. Oh, it's a great trade. Great trade. I mean, it's torture yourself if you worry, or you torture yourself if you start counting your hypothetical gains. That was a nice win. From 82 to 55, can't really complain. Amazing, Olivia. Amazing. It's like, yeah, a bit unlucky. But hey, I made a rule for myself. Told myself if it hits 170, I'm going to look to get out. It's exactly what I did. Hey guys, like I know I watch that one back. Like I think I talked through that pretty. Everyone's asking me to hold your hands more when we're entering trades. I tried to do it. Oh, guys, like gotta meet me halfway here. Shut off your brains, right? Trade. Because you realize it's really hard for me to do it too, right? It's not easy. Let's go, Power Ninja. How much? Ultimately, was our feeling to get out the wrong one? No. Was the timing the wrong one? Yes, right? So our instinct to close that trade after that retest, I think reasonably proven correct. Honestly, unlucky, like 15 seconds. We would have had a much better day, but I'll take 2,500 bucks. That's a good. Let's go. So entry price 182.25, exit price 155.75, stop loss 189. So I had 6 3/4 points worth of risk with 5 total contracts. So 6 times 120, about 7 times 120, so 140, 240, 380, $860 worth of risk approximately on that trade. And then exit price of 155. So you're looking at 32 points, 32 times 20 times 5, right? Effectively math. Honest, Tim, I'm not sure if I see myself placing another trade here this morning. I'm happy to be just one and done. Yeah, what's up, Austin? I don't trade stocks. I trade futures. No offense, but if you don't know the product that you're trading, dude, the fuck, man. I don't know, dude. It says it right here. Like, I don't know. options are not a very efficient vehicle for day trading, right? Because you get punished by time decay. So if your entry isn't absolutely right, you're working against you, right? So if you're 5 minutes late on an entry, let's say with a weekly option, your percentage of being profitable drops by like 36 or 37%. So why would I want to trade an asset class that's fundamentally rigged against me? The only people who make money trading options consistently are people who are selling premium or doing like hedging strategies, stuff like condors or whatever. But to go long calls, long puts, there's not enough liquidity to make it worth my time. And the leverage isn't that amazing that it outperforms future. Man, the question could have been saved for the AI coach, to be honest. Like that coach, guys, knows my trading better than I know my trading because it has literally seen every single trade I have ever taken, memorized each one, right? Seen every single word I have ever said in a live stream, memorized each one, and only references answers based on my trades, all the live streams I've ever done, and all the coaching calls that we've ever done. So it's like about as it knows me better than I know me, right? Please use these tools. Like they've cost me thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours to create. Use them, please. All right, guys. Any other questions here? Yeah, guys. I'm probably gonna take up or probably gonna take tomorrow off. Truth be told, I'm pretty interested in just having a mental capital day. I'm pretty tired. So I don't think there's gonna be a stream tomorrow. Um, so I'm gonna see you guys all on Monday instead. All right. Peace.